Hey everybody, it's Dan from PowerProfitsUniversity.com. I'm sitting here in the parking lot of my latest acquisition, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what just happened because I think it's a story that you really should hear. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the people that are involved in the other side of this deal. You know, there is a human aspect to foreclosure. There is a real story. There is a real person on the other side of these transactions that we do. And I think that you need to understand that this is a people business, and you have to be good with people. You have to have an empathy with people in order to really truly thrive and succeed in the foreclosure business, because it's not a matter of take and take and take and take. I had a discussion with a gentleman a while back. He says, how can you possibly buy these houses? Don't you know you're taking advantage of people? No, I am not taking advantage of people. I am creating a situation where I am making their life better. And if you come at it from that perspective and through that philosophy, you can do nothing but succeed in this business. Let me give you an example. I'm sitting in the parking lot of a house right now that when I found it, it had $87,000 in equity in this house. Unbelievable. Now, I also found a for sale sign in the yard. So when you find these houses and you see that they're for sale, don't give up, because that doesn't guarantee that you're not going to be able to purchase this. And by the way, I didn't have to buy through the realtor. I didn't have to get the property released from the realtor, and it still cost me the same $1 down that I am famous for. But let me tell you about this story. Let me tell you what happened and how I came about this deal. So we did our normal research, and those of you that follow me on YouTube, you know that I refer to this as fishing. So our little fishing expedition brought about this deal, as well as 3 other deals that I've got in the works at the moment right now. So it was a good week at the fishing hole. So this house, I knocked on the door, and I talked to the gentleman that was there, and he said, come on in. So we sat down and I talked, and I said, so how'd you get yourself into this situation? And he said, I could see he was about ready to cry. And he says, well, it's my wife. And I said, so go ahead and tell me, what's going on? He says, well, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Brain cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer. It's terminal. Now let that soak in for just a minute. Imagine you have 60 days until you lose your house. Now imagine the love of your life is going to be gone from terminal cancer in 4 months. In 2 months you lose your house. 2 months after that, you are going to lose the love of your life. Put yourself in that position for just a second. Now, you can well imagine that a person that's facing foreclosure has poor credit. You can also imagine that a person who has been living with cancer has unbelievable medical bills. He has literally nothing left. Nothing left. This gentleman was 77 years old. He's at the end of his own life. And literally there was no rope to grab. There was no help to be had. There was no life raft to be held out to him. So when I knocked at the door and I spoke with this gentleman, I had noticed that he had a sign in the yard, and I said to him, what's going on? Are you getting any bites? He goes, no, because we're 2 weeks after Thanksgiving 2017 right now. This is not a good time to be trying to sell a house. Now, he was also trying to sell at the top of the market. He was trying to get full market value for a house that he's lived in. It's needed some stuff done to it, and you're not going to get full market value in a downtime of year when the house has deferred maintenance, etc., etc. I mean, we're only talking about a little paint and a little carpet. It's not real bad. But nobody is going to want to come in and give you full value, etc., etc., solve your problem, and boom, do it in the remaining 60 days that you've got before losing it to foreclosure. So this guy was in a bad situation, to say the least. So I took a look at the situation, and I took a look at the equity, and I took a look at his financial statement and or his financial situation. And I said, so what are you going to do? And this is the most powerful question that you can ask. What are you going to do? He says, I don't know. And he broke down in tears, and I really felt for the guy. And it's at that point in time that I realized the human aspect of this is the most powerful part of this business. Empathy wins the day. So I said, Cecil, that's the gentleman's name. Cecil, if I could create a situation where I could save your equity in the house, or I could give you some money to move on with your life. If I could allow you to take the stress and pressure off this foreclosure, would you be interested in working with me? And he said, yeah, because I have no other opportunities. It would be the greatest gift in the world to me for you to be able to come in and help me do anything. And I said, well, what is it you need? What's your bare needs here? If I'm able to solve this problem, he says, I need $25,000. I said, why do you need $25,000? He says, because my mother is still alive. She's 93 years old, and she has a little house on the border of Iowa. We're in Iowa, by the way, for those of you YouTubers who don't know me very well. He said, my mom has this tiny little house up on the border of Iowa. We would like to just go celebrate Christmas there and just, spend our time together before she passes away. And I said, I can do that. So I took a look at the situation. I said, now, if you're willing to work with me, here's what I will assure for you. He already had one foot out the door. They were already packing their stuff, so he was going to abandon this house because he knew that he was going to lose this house outright. And I said to him, if you'll be willing to follow my instructions and do as I ask you to do and agree to a little bit of a wait, I will bust my butt and I will get this house sold for you, and I will give you, in writing, a promise to pay you $25,000 within the next 60 days. Signed. So we agreed to a deal where he signed over his interest in the house to me, with the stipulation that if I'm able to sell this house, and of course I will sell this house, if I'm able to sell this house, I will pay him $25,000 cash money, no takeouts, no tax prorations, no nothing. $25,000. We came to an agreement for $25,000. I'm not going to shortchange him by one dime. I'm going to be a man of my word, and I'm going to give him something that exactly the way I promised him. So when I find a buyer for the house and I bring a buyer in, I'll cover the cost of all the mortgage in the meantime while I'm servicing this. In fact, I'll even come into the house and I'll paint it and make it more marketable. I will do that at my expense. He said that would be wonderful. That would be amazing. And so we sat down at the table, and with the stroke of a pen, he signed a deed to me, and I went down today and I recorded that deed. And so now I'm the proud owner of a $225,000 house with a crazy amount of equity in it for $1. And I saved a person from living an absolute hellish life, ending their life and losing the love of their life. I actually did good in this world. So capitalism is a good thing. My name is Dan from Power Profits University. Have a good night.